Episode 152. Oh my, so many things. This was a crazy weekend, a crazy great weekend.
So fun.
You may notice some of our queens are now dressed up like paper dolls. Stevie has been given my Wrigleyville jersey that I wore to throw out the first pitch at the Cubs game.
Fun.
We'll talk about that. And Tay-Tay, maybe just a little louder. Tay-Tay has on my Chiefs jersey that I have in the closet when I go to Chiefs games.
Do we have queen news?
We have all kinds of queen news, but first we have a little cleanup to do. Long overdue shout out to Roberta, who made a giant quilt or purchased it. I couldn't tell. She said, oh no, she made it, which is amazing. It's this Bigfoot thing.
It's beautiful.
Baby cat's terrified of it. I laid it all out, and she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She made it out of the last special. She was supposed to see me in Charleston, but had to give the tickets away. She think one of the children at the box office used them.
Oh, really?
And then she was at the Borgata. But this all got mixed up. A lot of the post office stuff, and then things coming home, and then they ship stuff back. Yeah. And sometimes if you're late, don't worry, I'll get to it. I don't lose hardly anything. No. These termites made me laugh. I got a lot of birthday cards for you guys. I'm not opening them until my birthday. This one I didn't know was a birthday card. So happy birthday, continue to be a comedian, which we can all agree on. They're coming to Richmond. Whitney, 51, Andrew, 49, and Claire, 14. Oh, well, they're family comic. That's nice. Me and Jig Gaffigan and all the people that are considered relatively clean / normal.
Right.
Yep. Not too eccentric.
Nope.
There was so much. So let's start in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'll go through this pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. People, you know what's crazy is every state I go to, I Google, what is the drunkest city in this state? And if you Google it, Eau Claire, Wisconsin is the drunkest city in Wisconsin, which kind of surprised me. I would have thought Madison or Milwaukee or Green Bay, but Green Bay's awfully small. But my cousin Mike is there, and if they are the drunkest city, if that is true, that's what it says on the Google machine. I would like to think that our family contributed to Wednesday night being, oh my God, big blowout with the cousins. I got to see Mike's new baby. Nice. Yeah, go to the Line and Kugel Brewery if you ever want to go to that. That's in Eau Claire. It could be other places. I don't know, but I've only been to the one in Eau Claire.
That's the mothership.
That's the mothership? Is that it? Yep. It was super duper fun. I got stuff. So I got a Line and Kugel pint glass from Amy, Aaron, and Kim. That is and Forever stamps. I don't know why I'm getting Forever stamps now, but my friend, maybe because of Hippie Man. Well, his real name is John Novosad. If you go look up this comedian, John Novosad, he has the funniest thing on Forever stamps that I've ever heard. That's where he put all his money in. He was way before crypto. He decided that Forever stamps was going to be the thing that was going to make him rich. So, but hey, I'll take them. They are Forever stamps.
They said it's from your Father and Jesus special.
From my butt? Yeah, but no, I just do a joke about, I don't have Forever stamps. I just do jokes about the love of the post office. This little toy, little Packer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the Packers.
Baby Packer.
Very happy for Jordan Love and company because I thought Aaron was being a big baby. And I know it's hard, Green Bay, to let go of a classic. But you shouldn't let him bitch you around like that. I didn't like him bitch slapping that town around.
It's a bad girl.
They're good fans. They should not be. Fine, let him go.
Yep.
You don't know if you like me anymore? Fuck you. Out the door. And boom, Jordan Love's doing great. Yes, helping in my fantasy league as well. So Eau Claire, and it's this place called the Pablo Performing Arts Center. It's really funky. Most performing arts centers, I gotta say, are a little sterile. Uh-huh. It's not like, the crowds are good, but the atmosphere. This place was super funky. I was very proud of Eau Claire.
Cool.
Yeah. Moving on to Madison. Thank you to everybody who brought stuff. Sherry brought back a super cool Pubcast themed my Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. Yeah. And they said fire. I wore them on stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pubcast.
Yeah. Baby cat, I think.
I'm stealing 2 of them.
Yeah. So I wore those. I got a Bud Light cowboy hat, which I then gave to the opener. Told Aaron to wear it. Lori, Mary, Pam, and Karen, the McBride twins brought. There's so much good food because Madison. I had a bratwurst downtown. Madison, Wisconsin. By the way, one of the greatest college towns. I don't know why people in Missouri. I feel like Midwest people aren't as exposed to options as the coastal kids. Yeah. Like my friends that grew up on the coast, they knew all kinds about it. In Missouri, I was told you're going to Mizzou, or if you're an asshole, go to Kansas. I'm like, what? Well, why would I be an asshole if I went to Kansas? Well, because now you're in Kansas and you're in Kansas, Kathleen. Well, okay, then why'd you bring it up? Am I an asshole if I go to Illinois? It's very stay where you're at.
Yeah.
So I wish somebody would have told me about Madison, Wisconsin. The downtown is hopping.
Yep.
There's all kinds of cool old timey houses downtown. It's just the theater was great. The food. I went to some Brat house. I think it was called
State Street Brats.
State Street Brats. Is it on this one? Is that where I went? Yeah, State Street Brats. And they have their own, like, you go, they bring you, they wait on, there's servers, but then you go put all your own stuff on your,
Condiment bar.
decorate your condiment bar.
Decorate
Yeah,
your-
I drank a ton of Spotted Cow, got a ton backstage. Thank you. I muled, I did mule 1 6-pack home for safety. And nobody at Delta called me out as a drunk. I don't know if they look in my big bag that I check, because sometimes the opener always give me shit. Why are you checking luggage? I'm like, you don't know what I bring home, and you're not gonna know what I bring home. That bag goes out empty, and that bag comes home with local liquors and all kinds of shit nobody really needs to know about. So the McBride twins brought cheese curds, all this stuff, and anything that I can't take home is either shared with the staff. The staff gets so excited. Yeah, because now they've heard about all this stuff. My Bigfoot bumper sticker, Cole and Andrew, Amy and Lou, slippers, very nice, and Wisconsin beer and cheese from Trisha, and Tori and Jamie a shirt, which made me very happy. And then I had a card from somebody else. We're almost on to Queen news here. Madison was just great. Where did these people from? Oh, the Haribo Bear people.
Yes.
Well, what am I drinking? I didn't even do that. So Chicago's famous for this popcorn, if you don't know it, and it's super delicious. But they also make a beer, the CarmelCrisp Caramel Popcorn Ale, which is it's Garrett. So if you're in the Chicago airport, O'Hare, which also looks like Poland, circa 1972. Just saying, O'Hare needs an upgrade. They need new stuff. I don't know what's the problem. Is that like a mob thing? Is that what we're not?
Who makes the Garrett beer?
I don't know. It's
Revolution
popcorn. Is it Revolution again? They make everything. 7% alcohol.
Nice, yeah.
Can't ask me to read these cans, even with glasses on.
That's fun.
I don't know. Sorry.
It's like a Canadian beer.
It says Chicago, Illinois.
Great. It's up to the
Revolution. Yeah, I found it. Yeah. But if you do go through O'Hare, you're going to see an abnormal amount of popcorn, and that's what this thing is, because it's a big deal in Chicago.
It's so good.
I'm okay. Popcorn isn't just something I think of. It would be my mom's thing. So, and I even have some of this. This got brought backstage. It's Garrett's. It's the caramel. Yeah. Both
Cheese and caramel.
cheese and caramel.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they're known for.
Maybe that's why I never got it.
Because they're known for it.
Well, no, because of the caramel part. I'd be like, no. Normally, I would say no.
It's sweet and savory.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just lost you, I can tell.
Wow. No, I gotta put that away. That's terrible. I'll give him 50 pounds. And then I got the mustard from the Brat house.
State Street Brats.
Oh my God. Those Wisconsin Germans, the horseradish and stuff.
They're good at it.
It's amazing Wisconsin is not in the top 5 fattest states, and they're not.
Really?
They should be. The shit they eat. I don't know how anybody lives over 50. I'm glad they're there. I also like that it seems to be that everybody in Wisconsin has agreed upon an extra 15 pounds is good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're
Yeah. Nobody's super concerned about being thin,
No.
which I appreciate. Good for you guys.
Otherwise you're not fun.
Right. Does that mean you're not going to eat your bratwurst? Does that mean we're not going to have popcorn? What does that mean? So, the caramel popcorn ale, and then this made me laugh so hard. So, Haribo bears that I believe I read on the thing are originally from Turkey.
Yes.
They're the gummy bears,
And they're your favorite thing.
non-pot ones. They're my favorite thing on earth. I do not like the green ones. Every other color, I separate the green soldiers from the rest, and I kill them first. I don't think about them having factories in America or offices in America or anything in America. And this lady wrote, first off, love everything you do, including the podcast, encouraging workers. So, Imagine our surprise while listening to episode 150 from our desk in Haribo, USA in Rosemont, Illinois, and you explain you now enjoy our gummy bears, especially while you fly. I don't leave home without them.
No.
I have forgotten my contacts. I have forgotten eyeglasses. I have forgotten my night guard and grinded my teeth down to fucking stumps. Sometimes I've forgotten pants, but I've never forgotten gummy bears. And I won't eat any other kind.
They pair well with everything.
I don't know if it's Delta or American, but somebody tries to hand you this bullshit bag of gummy bears, and I'm like, it's Haribo or nothing.
They're organic.
Is it Delta? Yeah, organic. Stop it. I'm eating a rubber piece of candy. Stop it. So they sent some bears, but it's just, and then there's stationery. It's Haribo bears. See, Google it. See if it's turkey, if I read that right on the bag. Because I always think, wow, I can't think of one thing made in Turkey. I'm sure they make things, but I'm not aware of them.
Rugs.
Turkish coffee. Yeah, a Turkish rug. How many Turkish? I have a Bigfoot blanket. I have one rug that my sister gave me from her basement. I do not have a Turkish rug.
Ready?
Yeah.
Kessenik, Bonn, Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Why did I? Are you sure there's nothing about Turkey?
Yep. The Haribo is, I'll put all this in there.
German candy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yay for the Germans.
Shout out to Turkey.
I'm shouting out Turkey for your rugs and your coffee. Hadn't even thought about that. Hilarious.
No, they sell like 20 pounds of gummy stuff. It's awesome.
The gummy stuff is great. And then I don't run out. And even my friend Kathy, who's nicknamed Steven, but then we're all nicknamed Steven. It's a joke. But for Christmas or my birthday, she sends me a giant thing of the tiny packs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have one tiny pack with a vodka cranberry on the plane.
Because she knows you're an addict.
She knows I won't eat anything else. And I don't like their snacks on planes. They try to come up with these organic things, and it just doesn't work.
So flying is a healthy lifestyle.
Flying is, yeah, right. Let's not act like this can ever be healthy. We're all breathing the same air. So shout out to that. And then, I got my Hallmark snack bowl. I'll have to bring that up. I did make it home with that. That's from Wayne, Christy, Ron, Haley, Greg, Leslie. Detroit, termites that came to Chicago. The Garrity's, 9 different versions of Tato's, my favorite chips, Irish chips. Danielle and Paul, Irish snacks. Oh, and the robot toy for baby cat.
I saw that when I came in.
It works. It was already charged, and she went crazy. But she's also, I'm figuring, she's a little like me, old school. Somebody gave her balls with bells in them, and she liked that. They gave her that too? That was her all-time favorite. The other one I think is a little confusing. Because it makes a noise. The ball, she's a little stupid. I mean, I would play with the non-techie one too. I'd go old school. Just give me that one. It's easy, it's easy. Oh my God, there's so much other stuff. Marie and Jennifer, hot sauce, Sandy and Ray. There was something too. The Marshall Fields mint chocolate from Matthew.
I saw that.
I know, fancy. I will eat one and then they will go straight to my mom. But that doesn't mean they're not enjoyed.
No.
Not appreciated.
No.
Rabid Brewed local beer, Teresa and Ginny, Irish snacks, Lori. I got all of it. So I appreciate everything that came backstage. And the throwing out the first pitch at Chicago, everyone could not have been nicer. There was one of the children was in charge of me, Jade. Yep. Very, very nice, very organized, very on the ball. And when you go to throw the first pitch out, it's very nerve-wracking because it's very fast.
How'd you feel?
Nervous because there's too many people around the plate, and then I threw it to the mascot, Clark. It was a beautiful day. Aaron, my friend, had played catch with me the night before backstage in Madison. It's nerve-wracking because there's so many groups. And I'm not the only one throwing out the first pitch. I was the closer, but there were two other, and they're like, here's the Stand Up to Cancer people. Here's the people from the charity down the road, and here's the people from 9/11, and then they're like, and now go throw the ball. And then you have to run out there, and then they're like, don't forget to hug the bear. Boom. And so, I threw the ball. I totally forgot to hug the bear. And they're like, go hug Clark. So I had to go back out. I'm like, sorry. The mascot's chasing me. Jesus, guys. Yeah, so Stevie, there was another one of the children, as I call them, one of the youngsters. I'm her parents' favorite comedian, so they came to the show, and then I met them backstage. And, there was a couple termites that I talked to out getting a hot dog. Lots of termites everywhere out in the general public. And everybody totally normal, totally nice.
Nice.
Like nobody was super weird. And I thought it was awesome that Stevie's mom's name is Jolene.
So cool.
You don't really meet people named Jolene. Like it's a name Dolly made up for the...
real.
Yeah. So much thank you to the Chicago Cubs. As a Cardinal fan, I did feel like I was teetering on being a traitor, but not this year. The Cardinals are so bad, and nobody called Nashville. I have thrown out a first pitches Cardinals game, but nobody called this year. And my second most fun city of baseball in my life has been Chicago. So
I agree.
I see no reason not to do that.
Nope.
They gave me a wonderful jersey. I gotta get it hemmed a little bit. It's a little crazy. It's a little big. Yeah. I don't think they probably were like, oh shit, she looked a lot taller on TV. That's what everybody always says. Oh my God, what is she like 4'8"?
Close.
Yeah, it's really cool though. It's got my name on the back. I might just frame it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Would you do it again? Fast?
I would do it again. Yeah, but I would make myself just calm down a little bit. Just because she says run out there and do it right now, maybe I walk a little slower. Maybe I gather my thoughts for 2 seconds. And then I got to lead the 7th inning stretch, which was so fun. But at the Cubs Stadium, the organ player is like down 4 sound booths away from you. And they do tell you this. They're like, okay, here's Josh. I think his name was Josh. Here's Josh, and here's what's going to happen. But then when you walk out of his little area and then go boom, 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 down 4 cubicles away, it's kind of hard to hear the start. And then you're like, what if I can't even sing. What am I doing? I'm like, why did I agree to any of this? Hopefully I've seen Bill Murray do it, and he can't sing. No. So I'm like, well, I'll just do it. Mm-hmm. That was less nerve-wracking than throwing out the first pitch.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, you got thousands of people singing.
It was sold out because the Cubs are still in it to win it. And they won the game. And I'm so sad because I had to go to work. I had to leave after the 7th inning stretch, and I could hear the cheers as I was walking to the car. Oh, my God, yeah. But I had excellent parking, too. I'd like to thank Jade for that. The children know what they're doing. I couldn't believe where I got to park. I'm like, this is great. I'm throwing out the first pitch everywhere I buy a ticket to. I'm going to call. I don't even care if I've never heard anybody in the team. Texas Rangers, hello. Kathleen Madigan, performing in Texas. Do you need anybody?
Here I am.
Did anybody call in sick? I'm going to get on the call in sick list.
You better keep playing catch.
Yeah, I know. It's further than you think. Mm-hmm. And I made it. At least I threw it straight. Because while practicing with Aaron, I had a couple what I call flare-outs. Yep. Well, jokingly, and me and Aaron can say this because we're comics and he's our friend, but Josh Blue, who has cerebral palsy, sometimes if Josh throws a ball, he can get a little nutty. Yeah. Just... Yeah. And I threw like a few that I went, wow, there's a Josh Blue. Raining in, give it back. Sorry. I'm just glad I didn't do that. No. It went straight, but it bounced, but whatever.
How was the Chicago Theater?
The Chicago Theater is so beautiful. It's enormous, though. Sometimes, I shouldn't say this, but I wonder if it's too big for comedy. But then I don't know. There's comedians running around doing arenas. I don't ever want it to be that big. I feel like it's not. I feel like the people in the audience are kind of my friends. Like, I don't want it to get too crazy. Yeah. But when the lights are on, and it's a shame because when people come in, I don't think they get to really see. It's so pretty. Oh, my God. And my friend Drew McCoy worked on it for years and years and years. He said it almost killed him. He's an electrician guy. Yeah, so they had to do a remake of it back in the day. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And you can't believe your name is on there. When you started at clubs in Chicago, at Zanies and the Funny Bones and the Improvs and the Funny Firm, if you're old, you would remember that one. And to get from there to there, you just would never think that was possible. Like, I see the Chicago Theater, and I think that's for Anita Baker. Right. Little tiny Anita, right here. Boom, boom. Or, yeah, she's like a Chicago theater act, like big, and a big band, and like...
Feel good? You like it?
Well, it feels weird. Like Aaron said, it's kind of lonely. I go, I know, it's like we need dancers. It's especially, and Aaron's way bigger than me, and it's like you just kind of feel, I don't know, I don't really think about it, I suppose, except during sound check I think about it, because I look around, I'm like, holy shit, this place is big. And I love it. I mean, I'm happy, everybody came and had a great time, and it's a old school union house, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they do it boom, 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 and I'm happy, they never quit. I'm happy to see them all. They all remember.
Nice. Fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. So,
did you have a hot dog while you were there?
I did have a hot dog at the game. Yes, I had a hot dog at the game. They wanted me. They gave you get these fancy passes into the. Mm-hmm. There's one in Nashville at the Predators game called the. What's the club called?
The Lexus
The Lexus Lounge, right? That's the fancy club. And they say they have the same food as what's out there, but I don't believe it. Never have believed it. It's better in there, but I don't want it to be better. I want it to taste like the food out there.
Can I get a shittier hot dog?
Yeah, so I went out and bought a shittier hot dog and said no to the free hot dog.
The 1914.
Aaron Weber, by the way, was the opening act at the shows. A lot of people really liked him and wanted to know his name. Aaron Weber. If you want to find him online.
Put in the show.
He headlines his own stuff. He goes all around. He told me he was going to Ketchikan, Alaska this week.
Wow.
I know. I was like, whoa.
Have fun.
It's going to be weird after the Chicago theater. But not. He goes with me a lot. So, okay. Moving on. There's the Queen news. I usually like to do stories on here that are not done everywhere else because I feel like they're overdone, but it cannot be ignored.
No.
The Tay Chiefs Instagram, his jersey sales went up by 400%. So even if this is all a publicity stunt,
It worked.
it worked.
And he has another 300,000.
He has another 300,000. Yeah, but they're going to be like, this guy's like weird. They're not going to like it after a while. They're going to follow him because she's with her now. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, in the booth with the mom and her dancer guy and screaming, let's fucking go. And somebody caught that at the moment he scored and he did his little dance. And I'm like, oh, this is just working out on there's Tay fans' heads exploding right now. And the people, as long as if I have Kelsey in the league against the children, and I'm like, I don't care what's motivating this man. And I love that they're all still like teenage boys where he's like, my girlfriend's here. Could you throw me the ball a lot? And Patrick's like, yeah, well, I knew she was here, so I figured I had to get him the ball. And I'm like, this is fantastic. Points. I don't give a shit about Tay sitting up there. But she also, in Smart Queen news, she encouraged the children to go register to vote. And over 35,000 new registered people that said they did it because of her.
Nice.
That's how they're proving it.
Good.
So, and I thought,
She's
so
a force of nature.
it's getting crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
They took her out of the stadium.
The
in a
Beatles,
popcorn.
yeah, they took her out in a popcorn cabinet and rolled her out. But then I think, what kind of life is this? But she doesn't seem to mind. They rented out a restaurant in Kansas City for the big after party. If anybody still had reservations, she paid for all of their meals, and then they waited. They didn't kick them out. And his mom went. I'm sure his mom was like, "Who's coming in the box? Do what? No.
Come see her.
Yeah. Is this the one our granddaughters like?" This made me laugh. So there's quite a few newspapers and media outlets that have a specific reporter for Taylor Swift.
Yes.
That's all they
It's
do.
been a busy year.
Yeah. This person's last name, I don't think I have their first. Johnny Olinsky. He recently left to become the Taylor Swift reporter for the Tennessee newspaper, which is owned by USA Today parent Gannett. Here he describes his intense daily schedule on the high-pressure Swift beat. I don't think I could do this for a living, but good for the kids for doing it. Or he may not even be a kid. I don't know. He said, and you thought being a White House correspondent was hard. I'm the Tennessean's new Taylor Swift reporter based in New York City. I exhaustively covered T. Swift's every step, from the front door of her Tribeca penthouse to the black SUV waiting right outside of it. It's a super tough job. I certainly empathize with how Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein must have felt while working on their similarly vital coverage of Richard Nixon. How many Grammys did he win again? Right. I taught in college to speak truth to power. Instead, I speak truth to Taylor. A day in my $50 an hour life is an intellectually rigorous, socially complex, and jam-packed with important world-altering activity. But they are desperate to hear about Tay-Tay's girls' night out with Blake Lively. Interest in her dating life has increased ever since her breakup with Joe Alwyn. She's recently been linked to, we know, Travis Kelce. By the way, if you don't watch football, he's a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
A fun dude.
He seems like a shit ton of fun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have him on a fantasy team.
His brother has a whole thing on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had time, but I want to watch it. My friend Dory said it's good. but she's an Eagles person, and they're a little psycho about anything Eagles. You have to take everything they say with a grain of salt.
And a shot.
He gets a lunch hour, but it's not very long. And then he follows her around. There's a picture of him. Yeah, he's young enough. He doesn't even miss his job as a post-movie critic because Taylor has a new film coming out. Oh. Right, we've already covered that. And I just think, wow. He said, I didn't break a major story this time, so I'm just going to shake it off and do it all over again tomorrow. Ka-ching! Good for him. Yeah, it made me laugh.
That's great.
So that's the Tay-Tay news. I don't see that romance lasting. Sorry to be a buzzkill, Tay-Tay people. She's going all over the world. He's got to play football. The Chiefs are good. They'll be in it till January. I didn't even mention I was eating these potato chips from Rockfield, Illinois. Somebody brought them to the Chicago Theater.
Yeah, what do they call it? Let's give them a shout out.
They're called Ole Salty's. Potato chips are really good. And who else is from Rockfield, Illinois?
One of our
Cheap Trick.
Dax. Yeah.
One of my favorite people, the drummer, Dax.
Yep.
And his wife, Heather.
And the baby Vikings.
And their Viking children that look like perfect Vikings. They should have had 100. I'm like, when you have kids that good looking, you don't stop at 2.
No.
The world's full of ugly people. Let's get going.
You quit your job and keep it.
We'll pay you to stay home. Queen news, Wrigleyville. Stevie
Yep.
is in. This is what I love about Stevie, because basically she's a road comic. Okay? When people say, how long is your tour? Well, 34 years so far, I'll let you know. Stevie never stops.
Right.
Stevie's not one of these people like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh, we took 3 years off and now we have a new album.
Yeah.
Now we're going on a tour. No. So when Stevie says a new headlining tour, I'm like, who are we kidding? We knew that was happening.
Right.
I mean, unless she gets sick or something, she's never going to get bored.
No.
She takes those dogs on the road. What's left at home?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Nothing.
My friend Steve Cochran in Chicago, he goes, I know you love Stevie Nicks. He's a radio guy for WGN. He goes, you know, I can't say that I really know anything about her, but I did walk her dog for about 20 minutes one night back here. I go, why? What? And he said, she just handed me the leash and said, do you want to take the dog for a walk? But I thought she was going with me. And I said, no, yeah, sure, I'll walk the dog. She goes, great, and walk the other way.
Bye.
Hey, here's the dog. For the second year in a row, Stevie Nicks will perform a limited run of North American shows. Thank God not with Billy Joel.
Nope.
I mean, Billy Joel's fine.
She saw the light.
But I don't understand that combo. It doesn't work for me. No. And it doesn't work for a lot of people. I'm not he's fine.
Yeah.
But if I want to pay to see Billy Joel, I'll do that. But don't mix it up. It's like Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Taco Bell in the same building. Doesn't make any sense to me. No. She's got an 8-date headlining tour scheduled for early 2024. If you'd like to know, the general sale will begin Friday, September 29th via Live Nation. She's a Live Nation person. Sometimes I am too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Mm-hmm. Here's where she's going. Atlantic City, Belmont Park, New York, Greenville, South Carolina, Hollywood, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the one I want to go to. Do you know how many perfect witches will show up in the crowd? Yeah. Dressed like, and they already have the outfits?
Yeah, they are witches.
Omaha, Nebraska?
What?
It's weird routing. Huh. And then North Little Rock, that's weird routing. From Nebraska.
She does have a jet.
Well, she has a jet. I know, but she's got to get her stuff there.
It fits on the jet.
She's got a big stage. And then Arlington, Texas, AT&T. So if you want to go to Stevie, there you go. Don't say you weren't told here. Don't say you weren't told here. Update. Speaking of women, singer people. Well, first of all, before I go to update, well, because I keep forgetting to say this. So my friend Kelly McFarland, comedian, very, very funny. She's really into podcasts because she drives and goes up to Maine, and she's from the Northeast. She told me about, and then my friend Lorene told me about Scamanda, the podcast. Yes. And then I told Aaron, because we had a lot of driving this weekend. And if you haven't listened to Scamanda, Aaron, who I never picture writing me anything, texted, he drove later, and he goes, this bitch is crazy. I said, she faked cancer, but for 8 years to gather money. And then you can't even believe that people are nice. You want to believe them. But it went on and on. Then she'd say the cancer went away because she got pregnant. Who believed that? Like, if that was the case, then everybody with cancer would get pregnant. Miracle baby. Yeah, and go, oh, it erases, really, pregnancy erases cancer? What the fuck were people thinking? They kept giving them money, blah. It's a...
People kept saying it's so healthy.
Yeah, just if you buckle in, because it's a wonderful podcast, and it's produced really well, because sometimes I get super annoyed. Nothing against people with... well, I won't even get into it, but sometimes I don't like the actors. Yes. We don't need all that for a podcast, in my opinion. Just tell me what flipping happened. I like it on Dateline because I know those voices. Mm-hmm. I know who's, especially... Well, it's my boyfriend, Keith Morrison. I know. That's a guy who just doesn't give a shit about Botox, and I love it. No, these wrinkles tell a story. Every line on my face is a different episode Kathleen Madigan hasn't watched. Anyway, that is a wonderful podcast. I highly recommend it. There's another one that I got tricked into. Uh-oh. Yep, and I'm very against it. I've never been against a podcast. It's called People Who Knew Me. Mm-hmm. Now, I did not read carefully, so it's really my fault, and I understand that. But it was also some trickery involved. Produced by Lionsgate. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently it was a book. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. It says about a lady who faked her own death after 9/11 and then ran off to California and then was pregnant and then had to deal with the fallout of all that. So I thought, I had heard that people fake their own death after 9/11. So I thought, oh, okay. Right. I listened to the whole flipping thing, like 6 hours of my life. Mm-hmm. It was all made up. What? Yeah, it's all fake. I was like, what? Yeah. What do you what? Right. Well, and I said to Aaron, I hated it. I said, well, I'm in this thing. I go, but it doesn't really have a lot of details. Like, if you're going to fake your own death, if she had not planned that, how'd you get on a plane without an ID? And your ID would have said you. Yep. And I had all these questions. You left your mom, your cousins, this, and nobody ever came. Look, yeah. Well, the reason it doesn't make any sense is the details because it's made up. It should say fake or real. I do not like being tricked like that. I'm just not recommending it. Strong anti-recommendation. Negative stars. And I've never said that in 152 episodes. Negative stars, fakery, trickery, fraudstery. God, what a waste of my time. You know how many datelines? I could have listened to 6 whole datelines in there. I've been happy. Update! Female singers, since we're on the path. Katy Perry has sold the rights to her entire music catalog to the tune of $225 million. I think somebody may have overpaid a little tiny bit on that. Yeah, I mean, Katy Perry's... Katy Perry anymore. Right. I Kissed a Girl and I liked it. Fun song, but... That's the only one I remember. You would know others. Teenage Queen, something like that. I don't know. Litmus Music. They own the rights to all 5 of her studio recordings. Have fun. Yep. They own the Harleys in Hawaii Hitmakers series to her masters, as well as publishing rights to all 5 albums. $225 million. Katy Perry, greatest hits. Yeah, see if I don't know. The most Googled thing is, does she have a greatest hit? Does she have a greatest hit? That's a good place to start. Oh my God, she has a CD. Like greatest hits. A greatest hit CD? Teenage Dream, the complete collection. Teenage Dream, I don't know. I'm just saying there's another $225 million out. Okay, update. So I was obsessed with the MGM hacking. Yes. And they never paid it. Their stuff was destroyed. They had to rebuild it to the tune of over $80 million. Did they already rebuild it? Or is it still going? Oh, crazy things are still happening out there. Yeah, a bunch of dealers got paid today, and they shouldn't have been paid today, and they don't know why they were paid, and then other people that should have been paid were not paid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all... blinky, like, meow, meow, like, no. Well, it turns out, guess who was doing the hacking? The children. No. This is why you have to respect young people. Anybody that I see under 25, I assume is a threat to my entire existence and can destroy me in a moment. Somehow through my phone or my computer, they can fuck up my airline tickets. I just know that they're super powerful. They are. Then I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're doing.
No. It's all on their phone.
MGM Caesars Casino hacks points to an alliance of... Yeah, and I'm the lady. Would you like protection? Nope. Do you want an update? Maybe later. I don't know when the phone's ever going to click into. All this lady ever says is maybe later. And this lady's never going to do it. And then eventually they'll go, your shit won't work unless you do it right now. And I go, maybe later. And then they go, okay, how about 2 a.m? And then it just does it. So it's like, clearly you have a deadline,
Right.
Android. So I don't have to do it. It was funny because my uncle agreed with me. He's like, yeah, I just hit maybe later. I'm like, yeah, I don't want your updates. I don't ever want an update on my technology.
No.
Just leave it the way it is. It's fine.
Android.
MGM Caesars Casino hacks points to an alliance of teens and ransomware gangs. Recent hacks of Caesars Entertainment and casinos owned by MGM were probably carried out by teens and young adults who have allied themselves with one of the world's most notorious ransomware gangs, part of the trend that has alarmed security experts and defenders of the corporate computer networks. As my friend Lorene said, if you're the United States government, and she's not joking and I'm not joking, I know you can't hire them at 14 or 15, but 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, that's where you got to start.
Right.
You can't hire a 30-year-old to combat, no.
Starbucks or the U.S. government.
Right.
I work at Starbucks.
Known by a variety of names by security firms, including Scattered Spider, the group is tied to a Telegram account that boasted last week of the hack.
Wow.
And it was, as of last Thursday, still going on. They're vague about the makeup of the group, agreeing that mainly the members are English-speaking, so it's not the Russian children. Financially motivated, have been very active in the past 2 years, targeting large companies via stolen employee credentials and tricks such as convincing high-tech support employees that they have been accidentally locked out of their computers and need a new password. They've moved from cryptocurrency thefts to targeting businesses that provide third-party business functions such as help desk and call center staffing, allowing them to infiltrate networks of many customers. And they extorted Western Digital and other technology firms after stealing internal data before heading for jackpots in Vegas. Now, here's my question.
Okay.
I'm going to have to research this. Let's say I'm one of the children, and I'm super smart, but I've chosen evil over good. And I'm going to... Let's say, like, Caesars paid the ransom. They claim, there's rumors it was $15 million.
Okay.
So let's say you're in charge of 15 of these. I don't know how many children it will take. Let's even say 30. We're going to divide the money.
Why don't we ask them?
We're going to divide the money, okay? But I have to put it in a bank, a checking account. It's not. There's not bags of cash.
I'm sure it's in crypto or something. Their parents don't know they're doing this.
I don't think they would do it in crypto because they've moved on from crypto. So I'm saying, how does the government not find out?
Well,
They're gonna find out, and you're gonna owe taxes on that. That taxes? Talk to Al Capone. Talk to Al Capone. It's what brings everybody down.
nobody's tracking. They don't know where it went. It's probably like in Switzerland or something.
You're saying they took it offshore and we can't
Yes.
find it?
Yes. If they can hack MGM, they can open a
They can
checking
hide
account
money in the
in
Bahamas?
Bahrain, yeah.
Somebody's gonna be responsible for a check bill. I'm telling you, the IRS is relentless. Yeah.
They have a checking account here.
Yeah.
$4 million.
Yeah, they're down with me at U.S. Bank.
Buying Starbucks.
Hey, man, you're not going to believe the payout we got from Caesars last week. We'll go through the drive-thru with $8 million.
Making it rain. At GameStop.
Here's another thing, Vegas. I got a couple more updates here, too. Vegas, this is very sad. It's been a bad week for Vegas, really. It has. And I'm going back there. I don't remember when, but I'll be at the Mirage again if you're looking for me. So the Formula One racing, as an American, I don't really get it. I don't think a lot of Americans do. Well, here's another thing. Okay, you're saying they can set up these offshore accounts. Fine.
Let's go back to that.
Now, let's go back just for a minute. But if I live in America, they're saying English speaking, call it Canada, North America, somewhere up here, United States or Canada. I'm going to spend that money here.
You're going to spend it in a lot of places. It's a global
Right, but if
economy.
if I go buy $100,000 Denali Yukon deal, there's a record of that.
Yes, you take them a bag of cash.
Where are they going to get the cash? You got to cash your cash in. What are they going to then go wash their money in a casino?
Yes,
they got a money launder.
Haven't you seen Ocean's 11?
I have seen Ocean's 11. Every time I see it, and every time I'm in Vegas, I like to pretend it's going on while I'm there.
It's just bags of money.
Here's the other bad news for Vegas. So Formula One racing, I don't get it. I get NASCAR. It's not my thing, but I understand it. The F1 sporting world of the super rich, the super elite, don't even have the first idea. I don't understand when they race through Monte Carlo. Where are you going? Where'd you come from? I don't know.
But they're sold out.
It's sold out globally. So Vegas begged and begged and begged, and they got this F1 race that's coming in November. Mm-hmm. They have torn down the entire strip, everything you can recognize, not everything, but they're wrecking the front of Treasure Island as we speak. The Mirage Volcano, gone. Bellagio Fountains, gone. They cut down the trees in front of the Bellagio. The trees, the only place where I could walk and feel like I was actually outside.
Those are old pumpkins.
They're old, and they claim they're going to replace them, but I don't believe them.
Allegedly.
Huh?
Allegedly.
Well, I think the locals are not happy with any of this. My friends that work in Vegas and my little texting pals, no one's thrilled with the idea of it.
They were a quarter century old.
They were a quarter century old. God damn it.
Yep. Bellagio hacks down trees
For the grandstands.
Yep.
Because the thing, I mean, is it cool that the race is going to go down the strip? It's cool for the drivers.
Yeah.
It's cool for the fans that are right out front, which will only be a certain amount of people because the rest of us would be saying, I don't have $3,500, not even counting my beers. So this week when they were building it, a guy died. Wow. He got lacerated in the neck, and he had to be pulled out of the water in the fountain.
Stop it.
It's bad luck.
Yes.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Can't gamble at the Bellagio.
But this is Vegas. They tear shit down. They build shit. They don't care. It's their personality. 11:30 after a.m., a worker had suffered a major laceration to the neck. After being transported to the local hospital, he was pronounced dead. Further details have yet to be made public. The Grand Prix is set to wind its way through downtown, passing all major landmarks. This will include Caesar's Palace, the Bellagio, Venetian, and the Sphere per F1. It's a 3.8-mile track. Will feature 14 corners. Is set to cost around $560 million to construct the thing. A multi-story paddock building is being constructed off the strip at a cost of $480 million.
Maybe they'll fix downtown in the process.
Well, downtown's trying to get fixed up in Vegas one step at a time, but I mean, this money could have really helped them.
Cheap beer.
It will be the third time the city has hosted a Grand Prix, with downtown also playing host for Formula One in 1981 and 1982. I don't remember that, but yeah,
Crazy.
it's crazy. Just saying, I don't think it's the best of luck. Speaking of the children, update. Speaking of the children. Speaking of the evil children. Sam Bankman-Fried, our little crypto child, who asked to be released from prison. He's got all kinds of dietary things and medication things. Well, the judge was just like, horse shit. You're not, or he's on house arrest. You're not getting out. Shut up. Horse shit, or I call horse shit. They have vegan meals. Shut up. Anyway, his parents, I've thought they were in on it the whole time. I really have. I'm not just saying that now. I probably have already said that on the podcast because they're defending him way too much. Yeah. If my parents found out I did something like that, I would get thrown under a bus before anyone else could. My parents would throw me under a bus and go, that little shit. We always knew she was sneaky. Yep. She can lie. Like they would just be like, if you did it, pew, which they should. His parents were given a $16 million house paid for entirely by FTX.
What?
Yep.
Whoa.
Well, it's being alleged that the Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried exploited their access and influence within FTX. It's a hard one. Yeah. Enterprise to enrich themselves. They siphoned millions of dollars for their own personal benefits and their chosen pet causes.
Whoa.
What are your pet causes? What kind of pet causes do you have? Do you mean actual pets or do you mean your favorites? It's a 30,000 square foot property referred to as Blue Water. Yep. The total cash payment was $18,914,000. Wow. Mm-hmm. Neither Bankman nor Fried contributed any of their own money towards the purchase of Blue Water, the lawsuit says. It was paid for by funds with FTX Trading. Well, you're going to have to sell it and give it back if you haven't already started. Mm-hmm. They also received $10 million in gifts. $6 million was transferred to the couple's joint bank accounts. Wow. The parents knew or ignored bright red flags. Now, here's the thing. If I started buying my parents' crazy houses, I'm not sure they'd question that if it's for them.
Nope.
If they thought I was stealing...
They might thank you.
Yeah, they'd be like, this is wonderful. You're telling so many jokes. But I also, anything I got them is within the realm of normal.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Bass boat.
Yeah, here's a bass boat. It's, $16,000. You could do payments of $250. Not a problem. Mm-hmm. The parents are in on it. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be big trouble. They're going to either have to sell the kid down the river or the kid's going to have to sell them down the river.
True.
And then it's going to be not a good Thanksgiving. Holy shit, they found it. Holy shit, they found it. We're moving on. World's oldest time capsule dating back to 1726 is found in a Polish church containing 300-year-old coins, Latin documents, and a lead bullet. Wow. Cool. It was discovered during renovation work at the Church of Saint Stanislaus in the small town of Wyszowa in western Poland. Yeah, it's yet to be confirmed, but if it's actually from 1726, it would make it finer than the old current record holder from the U.S. city of Boston. The town's museum called it a unique find, the oldest time capsule found in the world. It's a box made of copper sheet, and the date is stamped on the lid, 1726. I don't know why anyone would lie about that. Right. Whoever's going to find it is not going to know if they lied or not anyway. Right. It has 4 packages from 1726, 1786, 1884, and 1914 that were extracted from the spear at the top of the church of the parish church, top of the tower of the parish church.
That's cool.
The oldest one was found in Boston at the Massachusetts State House, hidden behind a painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware River. Wow. Inside one of the they found parchment written in Latin, which chronicled a devastating fire. This is the one in Poland. Mm-hmm. They found a lead bullet that had been shot into the casket and damaged some of the documents. Oh, wow. They found coins from the 18th and 19th century wrapped in newspapers. Kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know what those are worth. A lot. Probably a lot. They haven't disintegrated. Yeah. Kind of cool. Yeah. I got one more. Holy shit, they found it. Nice. Yeah, Termite sent this. Cool. I didn't see this. A Norwegian man barely unwrapped his new metal detector when he discovered what experts describe as the, quote, gold find of the century. This is what my mom pictured it happening to her on Siesta Key Beach in Florida, and it did not. My mom found Bud Light tops, a shitty old watch that was, it's not even a ripoff of a good watch. It was just a shitty watch. Yeah, she didn't keep it up. I think she was hoping for one epic a day, right. And it never came. This guy's name is Erland Bohr. He's 51. He told the NBC News by telephone that he took up the hobby after his doctor advised him to get some exercise. But he stumbled across the unique treasure trove, which is more than 1,500 years old, when he was using his new gadget on a picturesque island to the north of the Norwegian city of Stavanger. He lives in Solo, a small town, resort town near Stavanger, and said that the hours of detecting only yielded trash like aluminum foil and a very small femore. I don't know, ore, some sort of ore. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a modern coin that is no longer in use. Cool. That's all he found. But then, on the verge of going home, he tried a nearby hill, and it took seconds for him to get a hit. First, he thought he'd found toy gold coins or chocolate money. Chocolate money. Sir, that would have melted by now. Chocolate money. Not Willy Wonka.
No.
But experts at the university later determined he'd come across 9 gold pendants, 3 gold rings, and 10 gold pearls that someone might have worn as showy jewelry centuries ago, all lying barely 5 inches below the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. Holy shit, the necklace looks like brand new.
Cool.
Not seen since before the Viking Age. The pendants were bracelets. I don't know what that is. Thin, flat, gold, single-sided gold disc that once formed an amulet.
That's cool.
That's very cool. And now he's never going to quit.
No.
Now he's an addict. You can't. Now it's just never stopping.
Nope.
Everybody's going to be going, has anybody seen Erland? No. Erland is never coming back again with his metal detector. This is crazy. Now, how many of you termites have seen the thing about Bob Ross on Netflix? I haven't because I heard it's sad.
Oh, I haven't seen it. No.
It's his. It could be on Amazon. No, it's a movie about his life. I think people tried to take money from him at the end. I don't know. I do want to watch it, but I'm like, sometimes you're just not in the mood for something sad like that. I'd rather go to straight crime where people are being murdered. Somehow that's less sad to me. If Keith Morrison tells me about it, then it's just a mystery. Well, Bob Ross, I did love that show, and I paint, and I loved to watch him paint. And it was sad that, it ended. But a signed piece by famed 20th century artist Bob Ross for the first episode of his popular TV show, The Joy of Painting, for the children who might be listening.
Yep.
Go on YouTube and put in The Joy of Painting, especially if you've ever wanted to paint a picture.
Yep.
He can make anybody paint a picture. Just follow what he says.
It's going to be in the schnoz.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The oil canvas painted, this was the first one he ever featured on the show. It was called A Walk in the Woods. It was created in 1983. Also, when his show started, it's like when cable started to rev up, like it was all brand new to us. So every channel, it didn't matter what the hell they put on there. We were like, oh, what's that?
Right.
Oh, that's so different. But his was mesmerizing. It was addictive. I couldn't stop watching it. It was on public television career. And it sold for $9.8 million. The first one.
Bob Ross, happy accidents, betrayal, and greed.
Happy accidents. That's what he used to say. When he would paint, he'd go, hey, everybody. It was always kind of like he was super stoned. I don't know if he was or he wasn't, but he'd be like, it's your painting. There's no mistakes. There's only happy accidents. And then he'd keep painting, but he'd say super weird shit like that throughout the show. You're like, yeah, dude, only happy accidents.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. And what's the name of it again?
Happy accidents, betrayal, and greed.
Happy accidents, betrayal, and greed. Yeah, see, then I'm like, aw. Yeah. I didn't want the guy that I like. He died at age 52 from cancer. Sad times. He died in 1995. So I guess I have to go watch the greed thing to find out who's got his money, but somebody just made $9.8 million. Wow. He painted about 30,000 paintings in his lifetime. He died of lymphoma. Yeah. Well, he's a busy man. Yeah. Oh, good. Somebody got $9 million.
Weekly episodes. Boom.
Yeah. Here's a little business news. I like to call this segment In Your Business, and then I forget to do that. But I'm doing it because I remember it. Okay. In your business. How many of you people out there love Joann Fabrics? That's the way it would be said in the Midwest.
Yeah, no.
Joann Fabrics.
No.
Yeah. I think I've been in there twice, and it was by mistake with my mom because she decided something was in there that wasn't in there. Right. And all I saw was like craft stuff, and that gives me instant anxiety. Yeah, I can't do any of that. No. And then yarn and things that involve math, sewing. Yeah. But I'm going to go with, there's one not far from my house. Do you know what Joann Fabrics does have? What? Ladies, well, guys too, pay attention. Which that was my card I got to find too. It made me laugh so hard. These guys wrote that they were gay millennial termites and they're germites. I can't, I'll find it for next week. It's so cute, adorable. But anybody, guess what Joann Fabrics has? Super cool buttons.
Buttons?
Buttons. So let's say you see a jacket online or something, and you're like, yeah, but like I'm not a gold. I don't wear gold. So if it has gold buttons, I'm like, nah. If I switch them out to silver or something crazy, buttons like for a jean jacket or whatever. That's the only thing I've ever known somebody to tell me. And then I went and got the buttons. I don't think you can exist on just selling buttons, so, But I'm going to go. I'm going to do a video. Okay. I'm going to report for the termites what's going on in there.
Will there be beer involved?
I may have to have a shot of my moonshine or a beer to go because I get anxiety about the crafts. This whole build it yourself shit, I'm like, no. This is for sale somewhere else. Why the fuck would I do that? Build a box. No, it's a box. It should come as a box. It's not for me. Do you want a wood burning kit? No, I'll just burn myself. No. Well, Joann Fabrics, they're in trouble. The company has issued a warning and laid off staff, but that may not stop it from running out of cash, even though it insists it won't.
This isn't helping either.
No. For many people, these just weren't another store. These retailers that stocked the items that they were most passionate about. Losing the exchange was devastating for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people, because these retailers were places to browse, hang out, and even dream. And dream even when you were shopping? I've never dreamt about anything in any store that I've liked.
No.
Well, now another big box store that serves a passionate audience has run into some major financial concerns. The chain has not used the word bankruptcy, but in its most recent quarterly SEC filing, it's running low on cash. They've made significant layoffs. That's the last thing that place needs. Because when I did go over there for my button run, I couldn't find anybody
to help.
No, and there's a lady in the back that cuts fabric, but if there's more than 2 people there, leave. Because
Be a long time.
I was on a mission, They're trying to they're racing to make cuts and pricing concessions from its vendors because the chain understands the government is operating it. Christmas tree shops and Bed Bath & Beyond's both had loyal customers but went bankrupt because they could not find the cash. Wow. They think they'll survive. They have over $1 billion in debt. You ain't going to make that back on yarns and buttons.
No.
Buttons and yarns, yarns and buttons, buttons and yarns. Yarn and buttons.
Wow. No.
And they've saw its interest expense double over the past 6 months from $27 million to $52 million. Okay, this can't go on. No. And I'm thinking, not that I care. I do know how to crochet. A lot of people would be amazed by that.
Stop.
I know you wouldn't think I would.
No.
Yeah. Well, in 5th grade, we had 67 snow days. Yeah, we really did. When I was in 5th grade, 67 snow days because Catholic schools don't have buses. And then our parents would just say, you're not going. So therefore, it was a snow day if they didn't feel like driving us. But my grandma knew how to crochet. So I had, 57 days off in Missouri in 8 feet of snow. So I learned how to crochet. And guess who has yarn? Not that I should be bragging, like, I don't want to pump up Walmart, but they have yarn. I'm just saying Joann Fabrics, the stuff they sell, Walmart also has a lot of that.
Right, that might be the problem.
You're not the only yarn whore in town. No. We got other people. Here's another one. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with this one. Rite Aid.
Oh.
I gotta say, I love a drugstore on the road.
Yep.
So many comedians, when we had no money and we were bored, we're like, well, let's go to Walgreens. And it was like an outing. Like it was like something to do, but you'd always find crazy shit to buy. It was fun.
Right.
Something to do for an hour. The makeup aisle's always fun. But I always found Rite Aids, no personal offense Rite Aids, but to be the kind of skankiest.
Yeah.
They weren't fun. They had what you needed, so fine, good enough. But I always thought they were just like one step below Walgreens or CVS.
Or 2 steps.
2 steps, maybe.
Yeah.
I was real sad because the Rite Aid up by me, there were like 20 cats in the back, kittens. Yeah, but some lady at the Rite Aid fed them every day, so they got fed. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, well, I can't be responsible for these animals either. But I mean, that kind of shit where there's just homeless kittens out front. Meow, meow. I'm like, hey, I don't know.
Right.
Well, they're closing hundreds of stores as part of a bankruptcy plan.
Oh.
Yeah. CVS is closing a bunch of stores, but it's not it's not a bankruptcy thing. They're going to go online because more business online because of theft. Oh, wow. The theft thing's gotten out of hand at these drugstores. But I notice it every time I go. Another thing is locked up. And my neighborhood's not bad. Razors are locked up. Go to New York City.
Right.
You can't have anything anymore. No. Like, you have to go get somebody, and then that becomes not cost effective when you've got, how many employees do we need now? Right. Jody needs a razor. Michael needs this. Paul needs that. Like, you can't do that. No. It's just easier to go online. Right. And go, how many razors will I need? They're negotiating with creditors over a bankruptcy plan that would include liquidation of several hundred stores. Citing people who are familiar with the talks, Wall Street Journal said the company's proposed to close roughly 400 to 500 stores. The one by me did close, the one with the cats. Yep, it's just, sign's gone. It's an empty building right now.
There was never anybody in them.
No, I always felt like, right. Yeah, and the hair color they had was odd. Yeah. And then I judged the clientele. I'm like, well, it's a lot of bright blue.
Good for you.
They'll either sell or let creditors take over what's left of the 2,100 drugstores spread over 17 states. No final decisions have been made, and plans could change. In the Philadelphia, oh my God, in all, the Philadelphia-based Rite Aid, it's out of Philly, faces more than $3.3 billion in debt. That's more than Joanne Fabrics. And more than 1,000 federal lawsuits over its alleged role in the opioid epidemic So I'm just saying, if there's a Rite Aid by your house and you feel it's on the brink, switch your prescriptions before it becomes ridiculously hard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My insurance company made me switch from CVS to Walgreens. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, I like Walgreens better.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not here to promote any certain drugstore. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I'm not getting paid by Bigfoot, Miss Richfield, or Bucky. I just like they text and they say... Mm-hmm.
I like that you get Walgreens bucks instead of...
I like the Walgreens bucks instead of these coupons that fly out of CVS, and the thing's like 18 miles long. You want me to read it right there, right now, because I've only got 11 and a half minutes to use these coupons. So by the time I get to my car, these won't be... I mean, obviously, it's like a 3-day window or some shit. But I'm like, can't they just get money? And the Walgreens lady, she's like 100 that works there, always like, oh, sweetheart, you got like $7,850 here. Do you want to spend it? Yes.
Get a nail polish.
I want all the blue nail polish for the St. Louis Blues because hockey's coming up, and then I'll get a yellow for the Predators, and then red for the New Jersey Devils. All right, this is what I said I was going to talk about last week, and this is a tiny bit hard, but we'll get through it. Moonshine. Because I have a place in the Ozarks in Missouri, a condo, and I have a house outside of Nashville. Both are tourist areas. So the Airbnb thing comes up a lot. Now, if you're not in a touristy area, let's just say you live in a regular city, Omaha, Cleveland, whatever. I don't know how it's affecting regular cities, but tourist spots, it's becoming an issue because, like, my brothers and sister have condos in the same complex that we bought them years and years ago. You know your neighbors. You can let the kids go to the pool on their own. I don't feel like, but now with the Airbnb, every week it's new people. I think I talked about the drunk girls from Omaha the last time I'd never seen anything like it. And props up, Omaha. You're raising some farm girls that can drink like maniacs and fall down a crazy amounts of stairs and just, boom, get right back up. And then I watched them leaving to see if any of them hurt the next day. Nope.
With a bush light.
But, I mean, the partying that goes on, the bullshit that goes on, and then even if you were just doing that, I'd say, all right, I get it. Because I also rent Airbnbs. I got one in Gatlinburg. It was great. Yeah. I all over the place. But normally I'm in a hotel. But for vacation and stuff, I would go do it. But on the other hand, is it getting out of hand where people are buying houses specifically to Airbnb them, which I think is different than, I'm finding this to be true like the Ozarks, which bothers me a lot. People are investing in condos and homes and driving the prices way up because they want to rent them out as Airbnb. They have no intention of ever living there. Yes, apparently they still have the right to do that. But then normal people, so you could do that. COVID brought a lot of that on. I saw it in Hilton Head. I went to Hilton Head for fun because I'd never been there. I wanted to see it. It was crazy town. And people from all over the country are buying condos in these vacation places just to Airbnb them.
Right, to pay for them, too.
When they got to pay for them. So I don't know if that was the original intention, but New York's getting the hammers coming down.
Oh, no.
This article, and it's from Wired.com. This is a true scale of the New York Airbnb's apocalypse. A law meant to crack down on short-term rentals in New York City took effect Tuesday. Thousands have dropped off the map, but there are still hosts offering bookings that may break the law. Yeah. The number of short-term Airbnbs in the city has dropped 70% after the city began enforcing a new law requiring short-term rental operators to register their homes. Short-term meaning less than 30 days. But the asshole who wanted to buy the house by my house, I said, yeah, well, they're not even, you can't even, he's like, oh, well, we just go around that. We just say everything's a long-term rental, and then they canceled.
Right. Every week.
Yeah, so whatever the government thinks they're doing, these little squirrels are 15 nuts ahead of them. The drop recorded between August and September, the day that New York City began enforcing the law, represents the disappearance of some 15,000 short-term listings from Airbnb. The figures are based, blah, blah, it doesn't matter. In August, there were 22,000 short-term listings on Airbnb. As of September 5th, there were 6,800.
Oh, my God.
It would have never occurred to me to Airbnb something in New York City because I think it would be so complicated to like get in the building and out of the building, and
maybe gross.
it could be gross. But I'm also old and I just think of a hotel unless it's in a super vacation area,
Right.
like on a beach. Then I think of it on a lake.
Right.
But in a city, I think no.
Right.
Well, I don't ever trust them not to have cameras.
Right.
And then I sound like my parents. My dad's like, I don't want that Alexa on. What so they can hear if you're going to bingo on Friday? Nobody gives a shit, Dad. But I also think, what do I care if there's a camera on and I'm just walking around here? I mean, I don't, whatever. There shouldn't be, though, obviously. 4,000 rentals have disappeared from Airbnb since the law took effect. So, long-term rentals they're being granted in, but that's for more than 30 days or more. Well, who would rent that?
Right.
That's also called what the comics would call, I subleased it.
Right.
We already have that.
Right.
Unless you're a new person, but then we sublease it from another comic.
Yeah.
There's a million comedians doing that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe we're not supposed to be doing that. It never applied to me because I never lived in New York City. All those New York comics would be like, hey, man, you need to put the... It was like a drug deal. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't live here. Thank you. I just come in to do my jokes and leave. Yeah. I'll be staying at the Marriott Courtyard somewhere right outside of Times Square. Have you heard of it? No? It's lovely. So I don't know. Do we crack down? Do you make it long term? I don't think that will matter.
No, I don't either. It's too complicated.
How does the government know?
There's so many people.
Do you got to get a permit? And then does Airbnb give a shit? I don't think so.
People are, they have their homes in LLCs and they pay cash.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all messed up from the start.
Nobody knows. At all.
That's how I would end the meeting. It's all messed up. Moving on.
Bye.
Moving on. Florida, you're getting some bullet trains. I said that in the video. This is but I have a question about this.
Okay.
Termites, especially Florida termites.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about the alligator that was walking down the street with a human body in its mouth. We're going to let that one go.
Yeah, that's weird.
Kind of sad. Amtrak is about to lose its monopoly in some parts of the country. And you know what? I'm sorry, but it should. It goes way too slow. It goes way too slowly. They go off the tracks all the time. It's completely outdated. Either the government needs to fix it up or the Acela is good. Some of the East Coast trains are good. Yeah. And I really like them. Way better than flying. I love a train. I know. I'm like a crazy person over trains. But that's when I'm like saying they'll all work on the East Coast. But Chicago to St. Louis, no. Just get in the car. It's ridiculous. Brightline, the nation's only privately owned company, will introduce high-speed service from Miami to Orlando in the coming weeks that will cut the commute nearly in half to 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
Now, that's cool. But here's my question. And this is the constant question with all of America. Because one time, somebody told me, take the train from downtown L.A. to San Diego. So I did. But then I get out in San Diego. Well, how am I fucking supposed to get anywhere? Sure. Uber? But then I Uber. I should have just rented a car. Right. But the rental car's not at the train station. The rental car's at the airport. True. Oh. Yep, true. Yep. No one's doing it. So let's say I take the high speed from Miami to Orlando. Okay. Especially Orlando being where I stop. Mm-hmm. Well, I need a car. Absolutely. There's no. Even Miami, you could Uber and go to a fun hotel on the beach. That's doable. From your high-speed train. Probably a lot more Ubers. They never think of the next part. I mean, it's a start. Right. It'll cost $6 billion to link the two cities. It'll reach speeds of more than 125 miles an hour. The fastest train outside of a Acela service northeast corridor stretching from D.C. and Boston. Wow. Mm-hmm. They'll have 16 trips between downtown Miami and Orlando International Airport. Oh, so you get dropped off at the airport. Oh, have you ever tried to rent a car in Orlando? Yes. Just shoot me in the fucking face. Uh-huh. Yep, twice. Oh, I've done it a million times, and I hate it every time. It's terrible. It's awful. And it's not really their fault. It's just there's too many people. Yeah. There's too many buses. It's too far away. The workers are doing what they're supposed to do. All spread out. It's all right. And then all the cruise ship people are in giant pods and going crazy because they can't find their lady with the sign. Hello, are you on Royal Caribbean? Oh my God. Totally. And then you have all the Disney people and they have their own buses and the children are already crying and they're sad and they're tired of being in the oh God. Tickets start at $78 and go up to $149 for first class seats. Now, would I pay $150 to get from Miami to Orlando? Yes. I think it would be great. I think if I went from Orlando to Miami, I understand what I could do when I got to Miami without a car. Orlando, no, I do not. Yeah, it's too spread out. No. They think everybody wants to go to Disneyland. The trip now currently takes 6 hours and 19 minutes. They're going to cut it in half. This is all great. I'm just saying we're not thinking right now. It's a start. But I've fallen for this shit. I've already been fraudstered in trickery. Yeah. And so I don't know. You tell me, Florida termites, what are we going to do? Floor mites. This is kind of crazy. We got two more. I forgot the lyrics part this week, termites. Just give me till next week. It was too much going on. There's a lot of Tay-Tay. There's so many gifts that came. I got everything. It's your birthday. It's my birthday. Yeah. It's my birthday. Well, not till, I don't know, when is it? It's Saturday. My birthday's, I don't know. Your birthday is on Saturday. It's on Saturday, wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, most of our dollar bills today feature a portrait of a president. This bill has a portrait of President Lincoln's Secretary of the Treasury, Salmon P. Chase. The auction house noted that this particular item was certified by Paper Money Guarantee and was on exceptional paper quality grade. The bill, it's a $10,000 bill. Wow. Made during the Depression, which is kind of just a screw in everybody's gut that wouldn't make any money. The Boston bill went for a record-breaking figure, but it was not a huge surprise. Somebody paid $480 million for this bill. It's real. It's real. Yeah. Wow. Large denomination notes have already drawn interest of collectors of high levels, said Dustin So-and-so, vice president of currency at Heritage Auctions. The $10,000 trail and only the $100,000 trail certificate used in 1934. And I don't even care about this. The $10,000 bill was the highest denomination currency to ever publicly circulate in the U.S. Since 1969, the highest denomination currency in the U.S. has been a $100 bill. I didn't know that. No. I always wondered, like in Vegas, when I'd see people whip out hundreds, like at the craps table to get chips. I wondered, isn't there a $500 bill? Like, it wouldn't have entered my world as a young comic, but I would watch the old comics and like super old ones, and they were just had money, and I was like, that's a lot of $100 bills if you just had two $500 bills. Right. But I guess since 1969 they haven't existed.
You'd still want to break them down.
Yeah. The museum also noted there was once a $100,000 bill with a portrait of Woodrow Wilson, but it was used solely for transferring funds between Federal Reserve banks, not for everyday retail transactions. Well, who? I don't know though. If somebody gave you a $100,000 bill, you'd probably, or I mean, $10,000 bill, I'd feel unsafe.
Yeah.
Because somebody knows that you gave it to me, and then I just tell two guys to go follow you and kill you.
Wow, we're at murder.
Fuck yeah, we're at murder. Wow. 10 grand during the Depression?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Depression.
I sell it to you.
I thought you meant now.
No. Well, even now, it's worth $500,000. I lost a paper clip there. All right, this is the last story, and it's a feel-good story.
I like a good story.
It's wonderful.
Is it about Tay-Tay?
No, it's about Jimmy Carter.
Oh, great. I like him too.
I like Jimmy a little bit more than Tay-Tay. Well, she hasn't had the time.
She's doing a lot.
And politics aside, forget about his presidency. It was a little weird. I agree.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
We've already talked about it on this other podcast. But first of all, Jimmy Carter's also a Libra. So his day is his day after mine. Mm-hmm. So him and Rosalind, if you've been following, they're doing hospice in their own home. Mm-hmm. She has dementia. He has old age. I don't know they don't say exactly what's wrong with him. They're just like, he's old, he's dying, he's shutting down. He's shutting down like a computer. But I keep seeing his son gave an update like, I'd say 2 months ago, saying it won't be long.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It was very sad. But I mean, also, they've had a wonderful life, blah, blah, blah. He still teaches Sunday school. Well, he did up until 6 months ago. Yeah, same church every Sunday. Yep. Wow. Jimmy Carter's your Sunday school teacher. If you're in second grade, and he's an ex-president. In addition to the houses he's building, and he still made a thing out last year to, what's it called? Habitat for Humanity, yeah.
He's awesome.
Well, this weekend, this is just great. Former President Jimmy Carter celebrated his 99th birthday early by making his first public appearance since he entered hospice care 7 months ago. Him and her busted out of hospice to go to a peanut parade.
That's awesome.
They rode in a convertible and waved at everybody. Who cares if they know where they're at? They know they're outside. You can feel it on your face. The longest living president in U.S. history, born October 1st and entered hospice care in February, announcing he decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care as he ceased medical intervention. 3 months later, it was revealed that Rosalind, 96, had dementia. While many feared for the former peanut farmer and philanthropist as he entered the last chapter of his life, his sighting at the festival last Saturday was warmly received. He's laughing in the back of a convertible.
Good for him.
I like busting out of hospice. Footage of Carter being driven through the festival was posted on Twitter, formerly Twitter, which quickly garnered warm responses as supporter for the aging president. His decision to enter hospice after, he had weird hospital stays. I remember all that. He's been married to her 76 years. It's the longest between any president and first lady. Last month, here we go. Carter's grandson, Josh, told people that he's at peace in hospice care, saying that the once entertainers now live a quiet and calm life. He said there's always somebody at the house to keep his grandparents company, more often than not one of their kids. He said that although they aren't as active as they are, they still fully understand the well wishes they've received. And he said my grandma's still able to form new memories. Wow. So I guess her dementia is like from old-timey stuff.
That's awesome.
He said we did think when he went into hospice he was very close to the end. Now I'm just going to tell you, he's going to be 99 in October. He's just got to make it to Sunday. Wow. And he'll be 99.
And then one more year.
Yeah. And then he's got to make it one more. He likes peanut butter ice cream. It's his favorite flavor.
He loves peanut butter.
Anything peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. He was a Navy veteran, a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Good for him.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. They have 4 kids, great-grandkids, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
That's so great.
Yeah. Oh, he had a bad melanoma. Yeah. I had one on my head. They got it. Yeah, you don't know what can happen. No. It spread. It was detected in his liver and spread to his brain. And he's still, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was in 2015.
Oh, my God.
I know. That's crazy. He was hospitalized 2 years later for dehydration while building homes with Habitat for Humanity in Canada, Paddles. He went to Canada to help.
National news. He's a wonderful human.
Yeah, so that's your feel-good story. Just know if you do enter hospice, you can still bust out and go to a parade. You do not know what can happen. Don't lose hope. All right, termites. I think that's everything. I'll tell you what. Oh, I'm announcing new dates next week. Yeah, I think. Well, I'm not going to tell you right now. They're not announced till next week.
Where are you going now?
I did add a show at the Villages. But it's not on sale. Well, it'll be on sale by the time this airs, but it wasn't on sale when I said I announced a new one.
It's on sale today.
And then people went down to the box office and got really mad. And I'm like, whoa, trigger. Whoa, easy horses.
Not understand pre-sale.
Yeah. Here's where I'm going. Richmond is up next. Charlotte, Des Moines, Kansas City, Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Fort Worth, Houston, St. Louis, home, Denver, the Villages. Second show at November 18th. It's a Saturday. Not that they need a time in the Villages to go out and party.
No.
Every day's party time at the Villages.
Big drinkers.
It's a beautiful theater. The guy who owned the Villages, his wife was dying. And she said, I want you to build a theater so Elton John could come. And he built a theater, but I'm like, this is a little bit tiny for Sir Elton. You're going to have to go bigger. Bigger. And it's beautiful theater, though. And the crowd was so fun. Eugene, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington. And then Tuesday, October 2nd, I'll announce. We're going to have the big announcement for January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah. So for all that.
That's next Tuesday.
It is next Tuesday. It's the day after Jimmy's birthday and the 2 days after my birthday. And October 1st is also my cousin Mike's birthday because we were born on the same day. So my grandparents got to go to the same hospital, and they had a grandkid that was a girl and a grandkid that was a boy. How lucky were they?
How perfect is that?
And me and Mike are still number 1 and number 2 drinkers in the entire family.
Congratulations.
He is my devil. I can't be around him for more than 2 days in a row. Otherwise, I will have to be hospitalized. All right, termites. I can't wait to see you guys down the road. Thanks for everything. If I missed anything, I'll get to it. Don't worry. It's all here somewhere. Baby Cat loves the...
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Happy early birthday. Yeah.
Excited?
I am excited. I'm going to go golf for sure with Little Dwarf.
Nice.
And then I may have a secret plan. I'm trying to organize it.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It involves some logistics, but it can be done.
You're planning your own birthday?
I'm not working. No, not a show.
No, I said you're planning your own birthday.
Oh, I thought you said playing. I'm like, I don't work on my birthday.
No.
No. You should never work on your birthday if you don't have to.
9-year-old. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. So termites,